week we're talking about relationships. Why? Because we've all been together a lot. I don't know about you, but when we're together a lot and we're in a situation where we're working from home, we've got our family with us, we've maybe got a roommate, and there's a lot of togetherness. When you're on your laptop, you're on your phone, and the only way you're connecting with anybody is online, it makes you step back and really evaluate your relationships. Where are you? Are you in a relationship that makes you feel good, but maybe isn't good for you? Are you in a relationship that leaves you feeling like you're never good enough and you're constantly striving to try and get an attaboy from that other person and it never seems to come? Are you in a relationship where even when you're together, you feel more alone than when you're by yourself? So this 4-part series is going to be based on the book, The Power of the Other by Dr. henrycloud. This week, we're talking about the corner 1 disconnected relationship. If you're here for the first time, I'm Carol Jean and I'm autistic. Every week, I help other autistics understand the science and the why behind our social brain with the easy how-tos and tips. Thanks to Emma and her great comment, I'm also going to hopefully start a blog. So if you're interested and you'd like to see this information in text form, maybe video isn't your thing, drop me a little comment below. Let me know, hey, would a blog really be interesting and helpful for you? Okay, so let's get started. The corner 1 relationship is a disconnect relationship. So in order to do this, we kind of dive in and ask some tough questions. I've taken Dr. Cloud's list of questions that he had and adapted them and made them relatable for us as autistics. Ask yourself these questions. Number 1, do you have some place in your life where you can be 100% honest and vulnerable about where you are, what you're going through, where you can share your struggles, your needs, your fears, your weaknesses as an autistic person? Number 2, do you have a person or a group of people who are totally committed to your growth, your development, and your well-being? Number 3, have you experienced anything in the last year that has taken you to a point of burnout, meltdown, exhaustion, executive dysfunction to the point of just freezing and being unable to take action, to not be able to concentrate or focus, anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping, using drugs or alcohol to escape or feel better? I don't know about you, but when I've been stuck deep in that corner 4, I wish. The corner 1. When I've been stuck deep in that corner 1 relationship, it was pretty tough. And I didn't realize what was going on, but all of those things were happening. And yeah, having a drink really helped me. It wasn't necessarily the best for me, but it was my coping mechanism. Are you feeling me here? So there's some signs to look for in a corner 1. If you've asked yourself those questions, and then you kind of move into these 3 aspects that dive a little bit deeper into that corner 1, see if this is you or maybe a relationship that you're in, clinical. So Dr. Cloud lists these, and the clinical and motives are this: increased stress, lower energy levels, difficulty concentrating or getting motivated, lower libido, increased fear, anxiety, or depression, increased levels of suspicion, distrust and resentment, loss of hope and purpose. I'm telling you, when you get through all of these, you're going to have that same reaction I did. And it's that, oh my gosh, that's me. All over the place, that's me. And we'll get into more about the why in a second. So the second one is relational. Not feeling connected to others or not as connected. Feeling isolated. Detachment from those closest to you. More conflicts with others, anger, short temper, impatience, not wanting to be around other people. Loss of interest in relationships, disappointment in relationships, feeling cut off or alone. Suicide is a really big part, unfortunately, of our autistic community. And it's really the thing that caused me to do what I'm doing now. The suicide rates in our population, in our group, are really high, and it breaks my heart. And I see so many people going, I'm alone. I feel so miserable. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing these videos for me. I'm doing them for you. I'm doing them because I care about you and I want to share with you the things that I've found that have helped me. I'm going to share when something doesn't help me. I'm going to be real with you because I want this to be a two-way relationship. I want to share with you and I want you to share back. But I also want you to share with the person next to you. So here's number 3, performance. Not getting the results you need and feeling as if getting anything accomplished depends all on you. Procrastinating, not being able to get it all together and get organized. Feeling overwhelmed, not feeling like you have any clarity or direction. Unable to focus. When I read these 3 things in particular, all I could think was, oh my gosh, that's me. That's every autistic person that I've ever met, pretty much. And this seems to sort of be our default setting. So our default setting, I don't know if it's because of our wiring, is that disconnected corner 1. And because I know that, man, that is not where I want to live. I don't want to live in that corner 1. That's miserable. I've been there too long. I had to get out of it. And I had to have somebody explain it to me in a way and in a language that made sense to me. And how you change that, how you shift that is you got to start number 1 by asking why. Why am I here? What am I doing that's creating this one-way disconnected relationship with the rest of the world? It's not that you're not a caring or loving person. It's not that you don't have people in your life. It's not that you're not reaching out and helping. You're not volunteering. You're not doing things for other people. Because a lot of times that's exactly what we're doing, but we're still disconnected. It's because we're putting out, we're giving, but only just enough. We're not really sharing and we're not receiving. I spent years volunteering and helping and giving to other people, but never really letting my guard down, never becoming vulnerable, never sharing what was really going on with me because I thought I couldn't. I was afraid. I thought I had to be strong for other people. I thought they needed that from me. They didn't need to see me being vulnerable or being real with them. Yeah, maybe they couldn't handle it. It was about my fears, and it was about what I thought somebody else needed. But in reality, it wasn't true. The people who are in our lives that are those true connections, those true corner 4 relationships, they want to know. They want us to share. And when we step out and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and we allow ourselves to share what's really going on inside, that opens up that pathway, and that other person can connect and relate to us in a way they've never been able to do that before. And when that happens, true connection happens and magic happens. Stick with me and let's talk about some of the in-depth research, some of the science and the how-tos and the whys. If you've been with me and this is kind of your point and you're done, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Click that subscribe button and we'll get part 2 next week when we talk about corner 2. Corner 2 is that bad relationship. It's the one where you're always left feeling awful. You're always left feeling like you didn't do enough for that person. You're constantly seeking their approval. We're talking about that next week. Okay, so why is a disconnected relationship so incredibly harmful to us? Why is it not good for us, not just emotionally, but physically? Have you ever heard the term failure to thrive? Well, Dr. Harry Harlow, back in the 20s and 30s, last century, he's a psychologist, and he did research, and it was pretty controversial research, actually, with primates, and it was about maternal relationships. And he would make sure that these little rhesus monkeys had all their needs met. You know, they had food, they had shelter, you know, they had all the things that they needed to physically survive. But the component that was withheld was the touch, was that loving, warm touch of a mother, the holding. There was some pretty upsetting research, and I dove in pretty deep on that one, and I have to say it left me feeling pretty horrible. But what happened is, as we made technological advances, Dr. Harlow's research gave way to other scientists looking into what was the brain doing in these children that suffer from failure to thrive, where they didn't have that maternal touch connection. Their needs were being met. They had food, they had warmth, but they didn't have that touch. What happened? Well, what happens is physical. That relationship physically impacts us. It does that in that disconnected relationship too. We're being physically hurt. Well, what happened in the brains of the children that they scanned is that there are these big black voids in their brains where neurons never grew, where connections were never made. Wow, man, that's some scary stuff. Well, on the flip side of that, there's some good news. When you've got those right relationships in your life, when you've got those two-way true connections, you can be a total couch potato food junkie and you've got some serious corner floor relationships in your life, you're going to live longer. I made the mistake of telling this to my friend, and he said, "You just shot yourself in the foot." I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is pretty good information, right?" And he goes, "Oh, no. I now can eat anything I want because I have you." And I'm like, "Oh, no. Your quality of life has to be good too, right? You got to eat healthy, because if you're going to have this quality four corner relationships, you're going to live longer. You want to have a good quality of life with them, right? You don't want to be miserable." Okay, so we've got the good, and we know that, somebody that's a total health nut and they exercise all the time, but they have absolutely no corner fours, they're that stuck in that corner one, they're not going to live very long. My couch potato buddy that's got me, even though his quality of life might be hindered a little bit, he's going to live longer. You got to choose. You got to choose right now. Are you going to choose to step out of your fear, step out of your comfort zone, your default setting maybe, and attempt and just try that two-way corner four relationship? I got to tell you, I'm choosing that over failure to thrive. I spent way too many years before I knew what I know now, living in that corner four and that failure to thrive. I lost 2 marriages. I suffered friendships being lost because I might have been investing, I might have been helping, but I wasn't being vulnerable, and I wasn't being real, and I wasn't being authentic. That's what we got to be with each other. That's what we have to be with the people in our lives. We got to step out and we got to own it. We got to own that, hey, I was stuck in that corner one. Man, I made some major mistakes, but it's because I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different. My brain's wired differently. My default seems to be that disconnected relationship just all on its own. But man, I had somebody explain it to me in my language and the way I got it. And I could choose differently. I could be resilient. And when the things didn't go my way, or I had that person in my life that maybe they were that disconnected person, that corner one relationship, but I chose not to let that affect how I approached any other relationship in my life. I found autism groups online to reach out to find some connection and to find some support. I've set up a Facebook group that's private just for us. It's the Socially Intelligent Autistic. In that group, that's for us. That's a place where you can go be real and authentic. And you can start to move out of that disconnected place if you're in it. I'm putting together some downloads, some visuals, and I want to be able to share them with you. I'm going to put them there on the website, on the Facebook group, and I'm also going to make them available as a download for your phone, because I feel like we all kind of need something as a quick, handy reference, because sometimes I don't always, quickly remember something. It takes me a second, and if I have a visual reminder, it's so much easier, so much faster. So I'm thinking maybe you guys will like that too. Give me some feedback. I'm on Instagram at socialautie. I'll post up something about the visual download and about what we're doing today and about the process that we're starting to move out of those corner one relationships. where we can evaluate those 3 harmful relationships that are hurting us. And in part 4, we can move into that true connection relationship. Join me next week. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Drop a comment below. Let me know if that blog's going to help you out. And also, I've got The Power of the Other by Dr. Henry Cloud. The link's down below in the description. Get the book, read it. Let's talk about it in the group. There's so much more to learn, and there's so much more to share. Take care. See you next week.